Live from the local liquor store to your living room, it's Transformers News with your host, YouTube's most outspoken alcoholic and worldly wino, the dashing and debonair Drunken Prime. Thank you all. Let's go ahead and gather around. Let's grab a seat and let's get into the news. Now this one is a bit of a discussion, another op-ed. I have to discuss something. Okay, so backstory. I usually peruse a bunch of different websites because I really try to round out my masterpiece movie collection. And since Hasbro seems to not want to put out too many at one time, I found myself browsing TF Source, Show Z Store, among others, trying to find essentially any figures that look interesting from the movie line, from the Michael Bayverse movie line. And I stumbled upon something that I thought, honestly, when I first saw it a while back, I thought this was a joke. I thought, there is in no way, shape, or form these are the real images of what this figure will be. Turns out I was 120% wrong, because it turns out what I saw, the leaked videos and the leaked photos that I found and came across in multiple groups that I'm in, were 120% correct. They were an embarrassment. They were of the new MPM-12. I think this is a 12 now. Masterpiece Optimus Prime from the Bumblebee movie. And the first thing I thought was, this is a joke. This is laughable. But no, it's true. It's true. And what's even more stupendous about this figure, what's so stupendous about this figure, is the price. Not only does this figure look cheap, not only does this figure look like the margins, I don't know what the margins are. It's probably costs like $60 to make, maybe 50, probably 50. And they're charging 100. What 100 and what 169 on Show Z. Some places I found it 189. Listen, this thing sucks. I mean, I'm just gonna keep it real with you. But backstory is, I actually really like the MPM line for the most part. Okay, I don't own many of the figures because the QC issues are just ridiculous. And the transformation, oh god, the transformations. So I own the MPM Ironhide. And I gotta say, while the transformation is not horrific, it is the most finicky thing I've ever had, ever. To a point where I've only transformed that thing 3 times. Maybe twice. 3 times sounds about right. But when I first got it, I was like, challenge accepted, and I transformed it. It took me about 20 minutes to get it done, and I essentially just did it to, say F you to everyone that I had seen in the forums that said what a terrible transformation it was. I and I ended up transforming it back into a robot. Then I transformed it back into a truck, and just randomly, a friend of mine wanted to see what it was all about, so he transformed it back. So I technically only transformed it 3 times. He transformed it from a truck to a robot, which is the easiest part. It's really not that bad. I have MPM Barricade. Barricade is by far the best of any of the MPM figures. And then I have MPM Megatron, which I would put up there with Barricade as just the best figures. The transformation makes sense. It's not finicky. It just gives you what you're supposed to get when you transform a figure. It's not that hard a transformation. Ironhide, I'm so glad I found it at Ross rather than paying the $100, because let's be clear, Ironhide is not a $100 figure. Ironhide is not a $75 figure. Ironhide is not a $50 figure. Ironhide is a $40 figure. Take away all the bells and whistles. It can't transform in a way that's suitable. It cannot it's not fun. The arms are terrible. That's a $25 figure. I paid $24.99 or $25.99 at Ross during the holidays, and that seemed like a fair price after trying to transform that thing multiple times. It seemed like a fair price. It really did. But back to this Prime. This Prime, it looks pathetic. It looks pathetic, especially if you go onto Show Z and search for it, and you come across all the other third-party figures that are in the same price point, give or take $40, that are far superior to it. This is an embarrassment. This is pathetic. It looks horrific. What is with that head sculpt? The feet have pegs in it. The feet have pegs. Like there's a giant peg sticking out of the feet of this figure for $180. This is not cool. This is not. It's not a cool figure. Nothing about this looks cool. Nothing about this looks awesome. This thing looks like what I think, if it's anything close to what the pictures dictate, it's going to suck. And the best part is the truck mode has rabbit ears. So then we go to TF Source. Go to TF Source here, and what do we see? We see the same character sold out. The pre-sales are sold out. $189.99. Please, God, tell me that they only have 5 that they were pre-ordering, because there's no way. There is absolutely zero way that this should be sold out. This is not a good Transformer figure. Now, mind you, I know there are people out there that are like, oh, I want the official, from Takara or from Hasbro. No, stop. This is Hasbro conceding that third party has done it better. This is their concession. This is literally them saying, there's nothing we can do to top third party figures. There's nothing we can do to top this. I have right now in my collection the IE-Mech Commander figure, and it costs $65. That KO figure looks better than this official figure. What is that saying? That is sold out. That in no way, shape, or form should ever be sold out. I look at this thing and I say to myself, why isn't this already on clearance? Why isn't this already clearanced out? This is not an acceptable masterpiece looking figure. A masterpiece figure should look extraordinary. It should look like it. Masterpiece to me means that you're paying a premium for an experience. This does not look like an experience. This looks sad. This looks pathetic. The color looks bad. The matrix looks tacky. The gun looks stupid. The head sculpt. Oh God, the head sculpt. What are you thinking, Hasbro? The head sculpt. Just start from scratch. This thing is a clearance item already. I'm looking at it and I'm like, $180, $180, $190, $170. Joke. MPM Starscream for whatever it was, 120, 130, 140, whatever. At least then you're getting a solid figure. It has its quirks, but you're getting a solid figure. If you paid the original list price for MPM Megatron, it's a solid figure. It's a solid figure. I got it at Ross for, what was it, $49 or $39 or whatever the hell it was. But after handling it, I get why people paid $140 for it. It's insanely solid. Barricade. I got Barricade for probably $60, something like that, $60, $70. But I understand why people paid $120 for it. It's a great figure. It looks great on your shelf. Ironhide, $25 is fine for Ironhide. Ironhide is anything above $25. Ironhide is a jip. But why Hasbro with the MPMs? It just looks like, it just screams quality control issues. Like, it just screams QC issues. I look at this figure and I say QC issue. There's nothing about this figure that looks like it's worth the money they're charging. The Masterpiece line as a whole, few exceptions, has been recently very much a letdown. I know a lot of people are feeling this way. A lot of my peers in the collector community are feeling the same exact way, that the Masterpiece line has been a letdown. I didn't get in on Masterpiece Hound. All of my friends who did, all of my peers in the collector community have talked about how bad Ironhide is. I mean, Ironhide, Hound. How bad Hound is. They have talked about how they really don't think the Masterpiece Bumblebee is worth the price of admission. And I know plenty of people who have had those kind of side regrets, quiet regrets at MP-44 Prime. Because for $400, $350, $400, $450, $500, whatever you ended up paying for it, it just doesn't feel good to have that figure. You don't want to transform it. You just leave it there to collect dust. You don't want to interact with it. When I see a Masterpiece figure, my first thought is it just screams for you to interact with it. And I don't feel that way with this Masterpiece Prime. This Masterpiece Movie Prime. I don't feel that way. I feel like this is just, so they threw a bunch of stuff against the wall. when I saw the peg sticking out of the foot, the right foot I think it was, going into the left foot, I started laughing. When I saw the bunny ears on the back of the cab, I started laughing because I honestly thought originally this was a joke. Turns out it's real, and it's an embarrassment. This it doesn't look fun. It doesn't look like something that's worth the price. I've gotten so many third-party figures, versions of the Bumblebee masterpiece for a third of that price, and they feel 100% more satisfying to interact with than what that looks like, than what a lot of the MPM line has been. It's like, I'm fine with a complex transformation, but if you're going to make a complex transformation, you need to make a complex transformation that's engineered to at least be fair. That if I'm going to spend 15 minutes of my life interacting with this figure, it's fair. Everything goes into place, it locks into place. I shouldn't have to sit there trying to fidget it and move it around or anything like that. It needs to be fair. Sunstreaker, prime example, spin-off, Cordon. It's a complex transformation. Sure, fair, fine. But it's fair. It makes sense. It falls into place. It's a lot of steps to get you to the end game, but it doesn't leave you hanging. The experience doesn't leave you hanging. This Optimus Prime looks like one of those that they're just going to over-engineer, and it just doesn't look like it's going to be any fun. It doesn't look like it's going to be anything special. It just looks like it's going to be another miss. It's going to be sitting on shelves. I believe this is going to be a Target exclusive. It's going to be sitting in shelves, and it's going to be clearanced out, or 25% off, or 50%, whatever. It's just clearance this now. Just clearance it, get rid of it, and let's get back to making great figures on the masterpiece level. Because this needs to stop. This is an embarrassment. I don't know what to say. That a $80 Skylynx, an $80 Jetfire, a $50 Kingdom / Earthrise Prime feels more satisfying than a damn near $200 masterpiece figure. The fact that most third parties, including the Toy World one, the Toy World Light of Freedom is $220 last I checked. I have to look that up again. But even then, $200, you're getting a far superior figure. Everyone says it. It's a far superior figure. It looks like Prime. It poses like Prime. It is Prime. Other than the statues of Prime, that's the best you're going to get. This is an embarrassment. This needs to stop. I hope and I pray that the next offering from Hasbro, Takara, Tomy for the MPM line, for the MPM fans out there, which I'm half of an MPM fan. I gotta say, I am half an MPM fan. I hope the next offering is far superior to this garbage that we're looking at. And just, I'm leaving it at that. Let me know what you think in the comments, please. Please. And like, share, and subscribe, because this is my plea again to the collective community. Stop doing this. Stop letting them off the hook because it's quote-unquote official. The quote-unquote officials have been quote-unquote terrible. They haven't they haven't reached the level. They haven't been on par. They just haven't. They haven't been at the level to warrant me giving them hundreds of dollars for mediocre product. I'd rather just buy simple chug figures, because at least then I know, hey, as there's QC issues, small QC issues here, small QC issues there, but I only paid $50, I only paid $30, I only paid $20, I only paid $10. Like, just stop it. Stop it, Hasbro. This is legit. Stop it, collector community. Stop encouraging this bad behavior. We've become the parents of spoiled children. We're allowing bad behavior because they're manipulating our love at this point. I see this Prime and I say, our love for the Masterpiece movie line is being manipulated, and it needs to stop. So hopefully this goes on clearance and we don't have to worry about it anymore. But don't buy this. If you want to buy it, fine, whatever. But if you can miss it and get something else, don't buy this. Don't buy this. Don't waste the money. Don't waste the time. Don't buy this. It's not worth it. Because you're going to end up like the people who paid $135 for Ironhide, saying, wow, I got. Don't get got. Don't buy this. It's not worth it. Find something else to spend $189 on. There's so many great offerings out there for you to spend $189 on that you shouldn't be spending it on this. But in any case, that's all I have to say. Please feel free, like, share, subscribe. Hit me up in the comments. Let me know what you think. If this is something you actually were really looking forward to or not, hit me up in the comments. Let me know what you're thinking, because I really would like to talk to people who have the feeling of, I want to get this figure. I want to know where you're at with that. I want to know how you feel. Maybe you can change my mind. Let's see what happens. But like I said, like, share, subscribe, and as always, be good, be safe. And this is a Drunken Prime, cracking open another beer and signing off.